want to be Spider-Man. Don't you want to be Spider-Man? What about Wonder Woman? Frodo Baggins? James Bond? I mean, don't we all want to be the main character of the story? I'd argue most of us do. We see ourselves as the main protagonist of our own personal unfolding narratives. And it makes sense. Our own problems, our own thoughts, our own circumstances, they're what we face every single day. But what if it didn't have to be that way? Today, I want to introduce a concept called sonder. For those who don't know what that is, sonder is essentially the realization that every single person around you, stranger or not, has a life that is just as vivid and complex as your own. We're so wrapped up with being the titular hero of our story that it's so easy to dismiss everyone outside our immediate circle as just another extra. But the day I realized that the person sitting across from me in the 51B had a life that was as interesting, with their own frustrations, hopes, and aspirations and failures, it was the day I realized that it's not just my story. It's not your story either, sorry. But it's our story. Now, I didn't always live by the concept of sonder, okay? When I was a freshman, my motto was, what's the point? It was so easy for me to dismiss people I had met in my hall because I didn't like them based off first impressions. I prefer to eat in my room instead of going out with everyone in the dining hall. And let me tell you, it's a pretty miserable way to live. One day I had enough. And one summer, I really challenged myself to live by the principles of sonder. Every single day, I promised myself that I would meet someone new and have coffee with them. And for 12 weeks at my summer internship, I did. There were some days I was running back and forth, just trying to meet new people. And what I found was that I was genuinely in love with who they were, and how in infinite possible universes and infinite possible timelines that we were lucky enough to meet in this one. It's amazing how the most minute and fleeting interactions can really delight and humble you. Now, I'm not saying for you to achieve sonder, you have to go up to every random passerby and interrogate them for their life story. That's a little intense. Instead, sonder is just looking across from you in that 51B bus and realizing that, hey, everyone's packed in here at 9 a.m. and they're suffering just as much as you are. Sonder is also just wandering an overpass at night, looking out to the highway and wondering where all those cars are going at the end. Sonder is being in a tech firm leadership class with 60 random people you've never met and thinking, hey, Michelle had a really good point about diversity on the Yelp case study, or Justin has become one of my closest friends. So I'm not saying it's bad to think of ourselves as the main character of our story. It's true. But I think it's time we recognize that we are just one chapter in a book of 7 billion. And when we do recognize that, we are empowered to do better and be better and really be a little more giving, a little more kind. So we may never see each other again after 5 p.m. hits. I know it's bittersweet, but it's a fact. So that's why I want to ask this tiny, small little favor. Look around the auditorium and think, has there been someone, even in this past hour, whose tech talk just dazzled you? Or maybe this throughout the entire time we've had, there was someone who always gave such insightful comments. What's it going to kill you to really just open yourself up and see a new world? After all, we're all part of one grander story. Thank you.